Hey guys, welcome back to Mr. Monroe's Math. Let's check out one of the ones that we talked about today in class. Example 4 using double number lines. So, a school caf has a restriction on sugary drinks and they can't have more than 25 grams of sugar in them. This is a state law in New York, but here in Massachusetts I believe it's 30 grams. So we'll check on that. What is the largest possible size the beverage can be? So we have our typical 12-ounce can having 40 grams of sugar. And if it has 40 grams of sugar, that's obviously too much. We can't go over this 25 grams of sugar. That's important right here. So 25 grams, so keep that in mind. It's going to be somewhere in this area. We can use a picture. So let's start with a double number line. So we start with our zeros and extend out two number lines that are parallel with each other. And we have these three values here given to us, which means we have three tick spots or tick marks that we can put on this diagram. So for example, okay, first one is 6, 12, 18, and then we go beyond this with the equivalent ratios of 20, 40, and 60. And that's in grams of sugar, so we want to label these in ounces for the size, and we need to know exactly what that is. 25 is a good number, but a weird number distance in here related to the 6 and the 12 ounces. So we want to break that down. 25 is going to be somewhere around here. Okay, closer to the 20 than it is to the 40. We can split this in half immediately and see that 30 is halfway between 20 and 40. And if that's halfway in between, what's halfway between 6 and 12? Well, that's going to be 9. So that's one way we can cue in on this on its own. Or, here's an alternative way. We can take the difference of two larger values, which would include this one here, the 6, and this one here, the 12, the difference of those two numbers, 6 and 12. So we can do 12 minus 6 over the number of parts here. The number of parts that we have we can have 4 here. We can count by 5s, having 20, 25, 30, and 35. I know it's a little small, but you can see the increments of 5s right there. 20 to 25 to 30, 35, and 40. So there are really 4 intervals to get from 6 to 12. So what's the difference of these bigger numbers? It's 12 minus 6, and that equals 6. So I'm going to erase this so we can now see just a little bit clearer. It is 6, and the number of parts. So it took how many intervals? 1, 2, 3, 4 to get from 20 to 40. And 6 over 4 can be simplified. It can be reduced. We divide by 2. And we have 3 halves. So for every jump up by 5 grams of sugar, that is 3 halves or 1 1/2 ounces. So if we're moving one spot to 25, we have 6 plus 1 1/2 ounces, which is the same here, okay, which gives us our total size of this kind of mini can of sugary drink. Maybe it's really tasty, is 7 1/2. But we need a label, of course, always a label. So ounces. So always take into consideration the difference of the larger values to find the smaller by dividing that by the number of parts that are there. So if I have 4 parts here, then I'm dividing by 4. And always use simplest terms, okay?